Hey, Newcastle fan. Today's video is just the way we like it, packed with hot news. And listen, the final story is explosive. A young centre-back, once a favourite of a top European manager, is very close to signing for the Magpies. And what's happening behind the scenes could change everything in our defensive system. But hold on, we'll get there soon. Before that, we got two very important updates. A bombshell from the Brazilian press involving Bruno Guimarães, and a transfer move that could bring João Pedro to Newcastle. So sit down, stay with me until the end, because you won't want to miss any of it. Our news one, the Bruno Guimarães bombshell. Let's start with a story that came straight from Brazil and shocked a lot of people. According to UOL, a Saudi Arabian club tried to snatch Bruno Guimarães from Newcastle. But wait, it wasn't just any club. It was Al-Ittihad, the same one owned by the group that also controls our Newcastle, the famous PIF Public Investment Fund. That's right, a club from the same group trying to sign one of our biggest stars. And no, it wasn't just idle gossip. The report says Al-Ittihad approached Bruno's agent and put a serious offer on the table. One of those deals packed with money that could make any player think twice. But what did Bruno do? He said no, just like that, and with confidence. He made it very clear that he has no intention of leaving St. James Park right now, and that Newcastle's project is still his top priority. And it's easy to understand why. Bruno is already a fan favorite. He was a key figure in our Carabao Cup triumph, our first domestic title in 70 years, and helped the team return to the Champions League after a long time. What's more, he believes he can achieve even more here, that the club is still growing, and he wants to be part of that journey. But his decision also has a very personal reason behind it. The World Cup, with a tournament on the horizon and Carlo Ancelotti set to take over as Brazil's national team coach, Bruno knows he needs to be performing at a high level in Europe if he wants to secure a place in the squad. Moving to a lower profile league like Saudi Arabia could hurt those chances. And here's the best part. Not only did Bruno reject the offer, but he also sent a powerful message to the Newcastle board. He said the squad is too small, that last season the group struggled a lot with the amount of matches and injuries, and that if Newcastle want to keep competing with the big clubs, we need more players. In other words, he doesn't just want to stay, he wants to see the club grow even more. Now, let's pause for a second and think. Would the PIF really try to take Bruno away from Newcastle to give him to another one of their clubs? Sounds strange, doesn't it? Especially since Newcastle have made it clear that the goal is to keep top players, build a solid core, and compete seriously in both the Premier League and Europe. Selling Bruno now would go completely against that strategy. So far, the only direct transfer between Newcastle and the Saudi PIF-owned clubs was St. Maximin, and even then, it was for a relatively low fee. That deal received a lot of criticism and raised serious questions about conflicting interests within the group. That's why, if the PIF really want to show their commitment to Newcastle, keeping Bruno is the clearest possible sign. And honestly, we appreciate it, because losing a player like him right now would be a massive step backwards. And Bruno Guimarães, now more than ever, looks determined to lead this team into a brighter, more glorious future. News 2. João Pedro targeted. Fofana and Chelsea on the move. Now let's talk about transfers. And believe me, the market is heating up. Chelsea are eyeing up Malik Fofana, a quick, creative Belgian winger who stood out in the Europa League playing for Lyon. They've already inquired about him and are considering making a bid. He could bring pace and flair to their attack. But here's the part that matters most to us. João Pedro, the Brighton forward, could be on his way to Newcastle. According to the Telegraph, our club has already opened talks to try and bring in the 23-year-old Brazilian. Brighton want around $80 million to let him go, but they've already signed his replacement, which could speed up the negotiations. João Pedro is versatile. He can play as a centre-forward, a number 10, or out wide. And Newcastle see him as the perfect partner for Isaac, someone to help shoulder the attacking load and add even more firepower. Chelsea are also interested, but with Jackson already there and now Liam Delap coming in, the path looks much clearer for Newcastle. If he signs, João Pedro could be the kind of addition that changes the entire season. On News 3, the main story, Newcastle could land Osman Diamond. And now, we've reached today's main story, the one you saw in the thumbnail. in the title, and that could completely transform Newcastle United's offense. The club has their eyes on a name that's been making serious waves across Europe. Ousmane Diamond, centre-back for Sporting, in Portugal. And let me tell you, this lad is being called a rare gem. According to the Telegraph, Newcastle are expected to make an official offer very soon. And when they say it, it usually means things are serious behind the scenes. So who is Diamond? He's only 21 years old, from the Ivory Coast, and despite his age, he's already played 46 matches this season. Yes, 46. And he hasn't just defended well. He's scored 2 goals, provided assists, and shown that he's comfortable playing out from the back. Here's the full package: physically strong, quick, intelligent, and composed on the ball. A perfect fit for the Premier League, and exactly the kind of player Eddie Howe likes in his back line. And his journey is incredible. Started in small clubs in Ivory Coast, spotted by Midtjylland in Denmark, a club known for developing talent, and then loaned to Mafra, a smaller Portuguese side. Then Sporting swooped in and paid €7.5 million for him in 2023. Since then, Diamond's value has skyrocketed. Today, according to Transfermarkt, he's worth around €45 million, but Sporting want more, at least €60 million to sell him. Which means anyone who wants him will need to open their wallet now, because with his potential, that price is only going up. There's more. Diamond is seen as something of a favorite of manager Ruben Amorim, one of the most respected coaches in Europe today. Amorim trusted him, gave him minutes, responsibility, and the young defender repaid him quickly. That tells you this player doesn't just have talent, he's got a winning mentality too. As for Newcastle's interest, Diamond is reportedly second on the list of defensive targets, just behind England international Mark Guehi, whose deal seems more complicated. If the Guehi move doesn't progress, the club will go all in on the Ivorian. And let's think together, Newcastle desperately need defensive reinforcements, right? Last season showed how injuries took a toll, and we need more squad depth if we want to seriously compete again, especially if we aim to return to the Champions League. Imagine it, Botman on one side, Diamond on the other. A young, strong, modern partnership with years of potential ahead. More than that, it would be a clear statement that Newcastle mean business, want to challenge at the top, and aren't backing down in the transfer market. And if the club moves fast, we could land one of Europe's most promising centre-backs before the big clubs come knocking. Because let's be honest, if we hesitate, others will step in. So stay tuned. This could turn out to be the signing of the season. And if it happens, you can be sure it'll be splashed across all the headlines. So, what did you think of today's updates? We had a Bruno Guimarães bombshell, João Pedro on our radar, and a potential signing that could reshape Newcastle's backline. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the like button, drop a comment telling me who you want to see at St. James Park, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates about our beloved Newcastle United. See you in the next video. Until then.